Good morning. It's been a bit. Let me get set up. Stuff's weird. Told you go. Low two break 2-3. So it's the first thing you have to say back to me. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back first before told you so. No, none of that. Just straight up. Told you. Yeah, got it. And we're gonna talk about that. Let me get stuff moved around here. Okay, there we go. Mm. Okay, it looks like market is selling off like we're anticipating. Let me get I'm kind of running late here. Hold on. Hey Ferris, hey Doctor. 5 minutes to open. Hello, Germany. Yeah, a little vacation. We had a long weekend. So yeah, it's been a bit. We have data coming out this morning, right? I think PMI numbers and stuff. Oh boy. Let's see where we're at. Buys down almost 1%. So I actually opened up a short. Opened up a short on what was that, Friday? It was weird. The futures market was open. Or no, on Monday. And then I got out of it because I'm like, wait, I want to get a better price. So hopped out of it, and then I went to get back in at a better price, and I couldn't. So I don't know if my margin was messed up or what, but yeah. So I missed an entry. I would have had almost 100 points there because it was basically the SPY. It was at it was only down like 0.03%. Let's see. I've been like I'm doing my taxes too, so I've got way too many tabs. Such a mess. And I didn't get them finished because realty income. They haven't sent in the info for Fidelity. So I'm like waiting for that. And I think I probably got liquidated on some of my GME shares because I couldn't get puts. Let's see. Yep, they liquidated some of my shares. Makes sense. Couldn't get puts. I'm not gonna even have. I don't have any buying power even. I did not watch PP show last night. No. Maybe I exist in home sales. Yep. Thanks, trader. I'm not gonna have any buying power, I don't think. We'll see. If I can get buying power, I can buy some GME puts. Get some margin, but I mean, this is what I've been waiting for, is a top. And I had even the 418 short. We had it there and I got stopped out here. Or no, it's actually at extended hours. Dang, that Yaz is loud. Let's see. Come out yet? Or no, it's not. It's not till 10:30. Walmart earnings. I stopped out of my natural gas. That was a pretty bad loss. I can't believe that thing broke. I guess I don't know if I'm gonna be trading it, but might as well put in the levels here on the SPY. Actually, before I do that, I think I'm going to close out of my cash grid puts on BBY. Start reducing some risk. Dude, I haven't done any of this stuff. Okay. Oh, we practiced already. Only been a few days. Okay, market's gonna open shortly. How many shares constantly popping up to short? Like on IBAR, or what do you mean? Okay, market's open. What we got going on here? Trying to get this out. Read it out. And then exploding recent open and then sells off all its gains. Yes, it's done some interesting intraday spikes and end of day spikes as well, which yeah, I'm gonna try and I guess capture some of that. Market's pretty dead at open here. Like it's not even open. GTII up 10%. BBY giving back or coming back up a bit from that pre-market. I'm still getting logged in. I have so many tabs for taxes. Whoa, there's a big bounce. What's this volume here? 2.4 million first like minute. Okay, that's pretty normal, I guess. Got margin calls on all my accounts. A bit of a bounce for this cash open. AMC's up almost 6%. Wow. Imagine that. Good opportunity to get shares and maybe take profit. For sure. Yeah, thanks, Furs. That's good point. Good morning, Christopher. Yeah, with AMC up, I'm wondering if we're gonna have GME moving some. My BBY shares, I think I'm going to sell covered calls on today. And probably close out of these cash secured puts. On it as well. Up back in at 180. I'd like to think this is a bottom. Just because of these, I guess, these candles, but honestly, TA-wise, like, it doesn't look like it's bottomed yet. Like, you could see RSI divergences on hourly, but that's just the hourly. It just looks like a bear flag. You know, it's dropped, now it's consolidating, so without a news catalyst, I'm not too confident with it. Do not keep going down. Okay, I have an order for that. SPY is trying to fill this gap a bit. You mean? Bouncing up too. Morning, Ace. I've got it. Okay, so I got filled. I closed out of my 1.5 strike cash secured put for BBBY that expires this Friday. Not much time. Is up 50%. No reason for me to keep grinding that thing out in case it goes down more. I still have a 2.5 strike. It'd be cutting losses at this point on it, which may be smart. Or I could hold it. And then my my shares on there, I haven't wanted to do covered calls, but I need to start having introducing less risk. I need to work on making an income more from trading, so not having exposure to crazy moves, but just being more consistently profitable is what I need to really start grinding on. Otherwise, this is going to stop for me. I'm not going to be able to keep doing it. So, we'll see what that all entails. But I've always gotten bad fills on GME in the morning when I'm selling. Weird. The spreads are so wide in the morning on GME. Like, when I've sold calls for profit, this looks like a cup and handle too a bit, right? But the market just looks super weak. So Amgen plus J&J good value for long term, maybe. Yeah, I like J&J. I'm not too familiar with Amgen. Yeah, I'm not looking to add anything to the long term right now because, like I said, I need to be making an income with it rather than just investing at this point. I've got a long term. I'll probably try and hold that, but also might have to liquidate that to try and trade with it. And the trading I'm talking about is probably just gonna be much safer. So more spreads at the money, and then probably theta gang, theta farming. He's back on complete. That's why I always thought you were I'm gillied up. Or did you change it? I'm all gillied up. Someone's I'm all GME'd up. I think that's you also. So I've got this Tesla bearish play. I think will work out. I think the market, I think we're about to see a pretty big move to the downside. Let's see. It doesn't say I have any buying power, so I don't even know if, I don't know how it gets some because I can't even buy puts. Right. Maybe I can buy puts. Jimmy is ripping up here, filling that gap. That ain't bad. BBBY. But I can get some covered calls on here. I can do 22 of them on this account. $2. I like it. Look at the AMC still moving. Yeah, 8.4%. Whoa. Got weight on covered calls. I don't know, they've been kind of uncorrelated lately, it seems like. BuzzFeed is up. Pretty good. I don't know if we would have been positive on that or not. We had those shares for a bit. Yeah, market's looking weak. Very weak. But there's that gap to fill, so. Joke never donating. Oh, okay. Oh, I've got these also. I need to close these. Wait, what? I have two of them? I got BBBY puts on the long term here. I'm closing those out too. BBY doesn't seem too correlated with the market right now, but it just looks bearish anyways. What's odd though is GME, not necessarily bearish looking, but it is correlated with the market, and the market looks very bearish. Good. Hey, Donero. So I put a pretty high limit on my BBY cover calls. I'm gonna wait. Because I think I can actually get puts on GME. I'm gonna wait though. A little bit. Hopefully it rallies up for it. Redfin's up almost 6.5. HD and Walmart. Yeah. We have, what time's the data today? I forget. At 10:30? 9:45 manufacturing PMI. So we have 4 minutes for that. And then services PMI, composite PMI. So we'll see. 4 minutes. Market might do something on that. Hit that like button. Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate it. You guys got 9 likes on here. Not bad for me slacking for the last week. Week-long break from the market. Pretty good reset. Oh, you did, Don? Talking about me. That's a crazy candle rip. I have a short on Tesla. Which I think I still like. Yeah, it's got the RSI divergence. Pretty bearish in the market, so I think Tesla will move with it. I only have 24 days on it though. So long options, spreads, I think I want to do at least 30 days. Back to that rule. I used to have a rule like nothing less than 30 days. And I don't think I'm going to do naked stuff unless it's super low IV. And even then, probably still sticking to spreads. Oh, you did too? Nice. Yeah, PMI's in like 3 minutes. Thanks, Tao. Thank you guys. Got 11 likes out there. That's dope. It's always a grind back once you stop streaming or stop putting videos out. It's like it's like you're resetting. If you take 3 days off, you're basically taking like, it takes like 2 weeks to recover, 3 weeks to cover where you were before those 3 days. AMC is up almost 10%. All right, AMC is rallying up. Arrivals up 8%. PMI is in 1 minute. Oh, gee, BBY is flushing. Bugger. Should have lowered that. Should have lowered that covered call. We'll see. That I don't see any signs of reversal on here, unfortunately. So we've got a gap at 163, and then these gaps at 131, and then at 1-2. I don't think that's even all-time low. So without some news catalyst, I think they're going to keep driving this thing down. Okay, PMI, what's going to happen? There it is, 9:45. Looks like it's out. It's moving the market down. I don't know if it's bullish or bearish. Seems bearish. I'm gonna get some GME puts, and okay, so it's letting me get puts on GME. Oh, market's kind of rallying a little bit. Interesting. I got some puts on GME. I have margin now. Not sure if I'm going to use it for anything today, but I think I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah. If I had stayed in my trade, that futures I opened on Monday, it just surprised me. I popped it open. I'm like, or Friday, yeah, Monday. I'm like, why are the futures open? I just jumped into a trade. It wasn't bad. I was like cutting losses real quick because it kill losers quick is one of my rules. And I was like, all right, that was a stupid enter there. So quick jumped out and then wanted to get back in, and it would have been literally the perfect timing because it was basically the top. It was just a retest. And then it said, oh, you can't. Like, what the heck? So, all right, I'm going to do covered calls now on GME, I think. Sell covered calls now with those puts? I might have to get rid of those puts so I can sell covered calls, actually. Yeah, well, let me do that. I might actually get rid of those puts. I can do some covered calls. It's interesting. Choices. BBY 172. The low there. 163 is that gap fill. But that's not even. Yeah, I guess that could be some support there too. We'll just put a line in down there. So it seems like that gap's definitely gonna get filled. That's also the low of that day. Did I get BBY filled? No. Oh man, BBY's flushing. Get it filled. I'm lowering my covered call limit order. Could even go $1.50, but it's okay. I'll do $2. Okay, SPY's making a new low. All right, now it's not liking it. I really want to short, but I'm trying to be patient with the entry. Been only 20 minutes. Check short sales available below. Little false break. I know I saw that it might have illegally sold ape. That's crazy. That'll have a lot better than anything else. The market's already down 1%. Got a short on Tesla, so okay, SPY's coming down a little bit more. Looking pretty weak. And it's already oversold in the 5-minute. Patience, patience, patience. I'm gonna wait. Oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. Yep, there goes BBY, 7% down, 1.6. We're almost at the gap fill, 1.63. I'm assuming those cover calls didn't get filled. No. Premium on them hasn't actually lowered a whole lot. All right, now the SPY's coming down lower. Okay. Put these wicks over here. Kind of just this 400 level probably. So we have housing data in a few minutes. Yeah, existing home sales is in 8 minutes. Thanks guys for your likes. I appreciate it. We're at 14. Good available. Oh gosh, my tabs are all messed up. For the whole 5 years, gonna be a great buy. Yeah. I mean, that's good. That's good because then you can have more confidence in trading it in case it turns into a bag. But I'm thinking it has volatility in it to trade. NPH. Nice, yeah. End phase. Yep, it's gonna move up. That's a popular one. End phase. 5 months should do it. See, it's still not filled. Okay, glad I didn't enter short there. AMC. This thing has been much more bullish than no, they've just been detached. Look at this. So this is way more bearish than GME was through here, and this has been more bullish. So I don't know why they're so untethered. Maybe it's more of a volatility thing now, like with BBBY. It's like BBY now, it seems, or it kind of always has been, where it needs a lot of volatility for them to tether out. Yeah, that's true. We didn't get the squeeze, but like GME had those cycles, I think we'll still see that on BBBY. Some sort of big move to the upside. It's just, yeah, how much lower does it go before there? So at some point, it's just going to be too cheap, and there's going to be some buying pressure. Next pain is 0.7? I don't think so. Let me check. That'd be a crazy low. So GME's borrow fee's been coming down, which is not nice. And yet again, my protective puts are the best. Oh, SPY's looking weak still. Wait for a bounce today. We get it. BBBYs. Oh, wow. Yeah, that borrow fee did get dumped on. BBY did have in like the 500s or so on iBorrow. 334 it showed on iBorrow. Now it's showing 100. Okay, I got out of my BBY. Oh no, I didn't. What the heck? Uh, okay. Partially fill? I did it at the ask. What the heck? You crappy. Literally put it at the ass and just partially filled it. What in the fidelity, like, is so cumbersome and slow. Finally, it filled. Yeah, so BBY's borrow fee, it has come down. It's only 100% now. It's crazy. They actually have available shares. So none of that's looking good. Okay, market is just getting clobbered here. Ah, I did not want to shorten the lows. MAM making moves. Oh yeah, 37%. Look at that. Biopharma. Making the goalpost pattern. Retesting that high up there. 30 seconds to data. Yeah, it was pretty good. No, it was good. It was fun. It was a fun time. I've been just stressed a lot lately, so it's hard to like just chill out and enjoy yourself. Just like shut it off. But yeah, fun time. Looks like data's out. SPY is dropping on it. New low on SPY. I'm gonna be patient. My GME puts are up 25%. Wee. But I can't do covered calls and I have those, so they'll come around soon. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the market cap's getting low enough, like definitely priced for bankruptcy. You were saying the 0.7. Yeah, let's see. Did the preferred shares warrants have a clause that if their shares fell below pay the buyer? I think it's 0.71. Sure, pay the buyer. But very well could get down there. That'd break this low. Breaks that low. 0.88 is the all-time low. So that if we get down to all-time low, I mean that's still a long ways. That's half, right? Just about, yeah. Yeah, so that's another 50% down from here. And that would put the market cap at 100 million. Then you're talking some DFV. No, I think even right now, like 200 million, it's risky, but it's priced for bankruptcy, and I don't think they're going bankrupt in the near term at least. There's bounced off the day's sport. Corvus. Tesla's holding up quite well. See if this thing starts to come down. Trying to take out retail. Yeah, or it's being shorted so that it's cheaper for however that crazy debt structure is for some reason. So they can buy it cheaper, or they can get more shares. They can have more voting power. I'm glad that from what I've read, I'm not the only one that's confused by what they've done, and it seems like what they've done is very, very unusual and kind of unprecedented. So there's a lot of confusion around it. And then they've also like changed and stuff. So my friends, let's find the bottom. 131. I mean, there's still gaps down here on BBY, so looks like those are probably gonna get filled. We don't really have much support. The first one's at 163, which we actually almost hit today. We hit 166. 163, if that holds, then that's it. But if we break below kind of this 160 level, then I don't see why we wouldn't fill this gap at 131. So looks like it wants to keep coming down. Already down one. Might even jump in a short here at the low, but I don't know. Oh wait. I can't believe not gas, man. Things down 7%. This is crazy. This is like past all-time lows. Keeps making all-time lows on or on UNG at least, as long as this thing's been around. See that? Given there maybe was some, I don't know how this one works, if there's reverse splits or anything like that, but yeah, nat gas is extremely cheap. Maybe some even like leaps on UNG. HLF, what is that? Herbalife? How dare you go against Icon? Alright. Looks like SPY might hold that level, maybe. GME is just kind of flushing. So I might sell these puts this morning, take profit on them, and then if we get any kind of bounce, do some covered calls. I won't have margin for futures, but that'll maybe save me. I don't know. That UNG position, or the natural gas position I was building on the futures, was getting nice. I had 4 of those mini contracts, but then it flushed through that support, so that then wasn't nice. Need to use more stop losses, I think. 15 likes, thank you guys. I know, that's what I was thinking, Don. I was like, and that's what was with UNG. It was sitting at the all-time low, that $8. You know, right here, 884, like right here. And I was building up. It was kind of chopping around there for a bit, and then it just, bleh. Yeah, on all these dips, I was basically buying. And it flushed, and I sold here. So, yeah, boy, I don't know if I do boil leaps just because it decays. Those are, I mean, they're gonna full reverse split this one, right? That's how it is. It's commodity, can't go to zero. I mean, oil went negative, right? It seems early on in the recession to have nat gas so cheap, though. I didn't actually initially realize. I looked into it. I didn't realize how weighted nat gas is to energy. I thought it was more just heating. I didn't realize how much it's used for energy. So, yeah, that's where you're gonna get, I think, like recessionary elements are gonna drive that down. Just less demand for energy, and then of course with that somewhat warm winter, but never leaves on decay. Does UNG decay, or is that just boil? Why is AMC up 8%? What the heck? Oh, because Ant-Man hype? Hmm. Spies coming down more. They could end up being a big day on the market. See, 2 or 3% even. This is very bearish looking, and it doesn't come down slow usually in a bear market. Oh, it does. 1.1% is not bad. All right, spies coming down more. No bounces yet. We've got all our data. So 11:30. We have bond auctions at 11:30 and then 1. And I think, are there some Fed speakers today? Boyles is probably pretty bad. Their fee. Well, I probably wouldn't do leaps on Boyle. Oh, 133? That's not that bad either. All right, new low on the SPY. I gas down 7.5%. Box D is up 5%. This one actually looks pretty bullish. Buy flushing down. %1.3%. UNG is the best in that gas as far as fees. So 459 or so thereabouts, kind of just that 400 level. See if it bounces there. GME is not really coming down yet on that. But for the leverage you get on Boyle, that seems worth it. This isn't, what is Boyle? Is it 2 times, 3 times? I don't even know what the leverage is. Tesla's starting to move down a little bit. Microsoft, I mean, tech's not looking strong. Two times on boil, so that's worth it because the fee's not twice as much. Right? Or is that not how it works? Seems right. Looking at some of my long terms here. Divvies. Thinking about getting rid of Tesla. I don't really like to trade the long term, but this is such a clear exit. I exited one share somewhere in the 400 range. 2 shares. It was just swinging my long term at that point too much. I want to just trim it. Not swinging it too much now, but yeah. The quantity. SPY making a new low there. And flushing more. GME's kind of moving down with it. Yeah, BBY doesn't seem to really move with the market. In fact, it might even have negative beta. At times we've seen it move inverse. Major recalls come on Tesla. I mean, I think it's going to come down with the market. Leverage with less fees, but leverage adds velocity in both directions. Right. Little bounce on the market. I want to get some long-term GME calls, but because the IV is so low, but it seems like it's going to come down more. Like so many time frames are just 80%. Those are all after earnings too. The weeklies are at 80%. 77%. These are the ones I think I'd had before. This is why cover calls on GME are like so sketchy to me right now though. You're just hardly receiving any premium, and just a little move and the IV can double. And you're like, it's just such a difficult roll to make. You have to roll it then. Hey Wayne, yeah, I was on a little holiday. Hey, homage soon and buy in. Well, you're gonna have the way to the market, it looks like, for potentially quite a while. Just looking at the TA, like, you know, this move down might be like this, but it very well could be a new low. That'll take lots of time. But even this move is a weekly chart, so that was a month right there. But I don't know, because yeah, BBY doesn't seem to really move with the market. But we haven't really seen like a big market move to the downside yet, and how it reacts. Definitely doesn't move with it so far though, like GME. This thing is SPY. Recalling self-driving cars? They're always recalling something, right? Every Tesla, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem like anything new. My brother's got a Tesla, and he like hit a deer or something, and they had to go in to get it repaired. Like to get it repaired was going to be like months. I think it was like 3 months or something, or 4 months for them to get parts. Like what? He went and bought an M4. Like, I don't know if I think they probably got a rental from them initially, but maybe when they were like, oh, it's gonna be so long, they had to give it back. Like, I'll just go buy an M4. That's so long though, like, what in the world? I don't know if that's just Tesla has a crappy supply chain or what. There's just crazy demand. Hey man, broke that resistance. Yeah, it did. Holy smokes. Was that it right there? Oh no, over here. Nice. Nice. Well, it's doing that, that standard goalpost pattern, so it's just winning all around. Net gas down 8%. Test recalls are fine. They had to recall every self-driving car. That seems pretty significant. But I haven't heard that yet. Market and GME are getting a little bounce here. AMC is holding up quite well. These 20 puts I got on GME. Break even's 1984. Would have gotten closer to the money, but they were more for margin than anything. I kind of want to sell them. I mean, this chart looks bullish. We've got a bull flag, bullish MACD, green over the 9, even a little cup and handle. So either GME is about to inverse, or the market's actually not going to come down. Or this isn't bullish and GME is just going to come down, I guess. This GME. The Tesla play is up 8%. I'm looking for a gap fill down here though. That would be pretty significant. It's a spread, so 188, 189 I'll start getting profitable on it. So not too far away. But it has to come soon. Break even on it's 172. Be too aggressive. SPY is coming down more here. Wow. A minute, looks weird. That's what we ever bought. I actually saw a bearish divergence in the daily. Is there a bullish one also? That one? That one? Yeah, I guess so. Higher and that's lower. Is that bullish? That's like a hidden divergence. So that going down. That going up. That is bullish. I don't know why that's so confusing. Yeah, it's a hidden one. I don't always see those because they're hidden. um, yeah, there's both. There's also this one up here and here. But that one actually, your bullish one is maybe more exaggerated. This is only by 0.66. Well, one date? Way back here? Most recordings of AMC Ape and BBY. I shouldn't be so bearish on Tesla. I'm bearish on the market, so just thought it made sense. And of course, looks like it's topping out. Yeah, it's funny. The hidden ones are hidden. There is a bearish one there though too. That's not hidden. SPY's coming down more here. 1.35%. Wait a couple days. On Tesla, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I still have time on it. Um, yeah, it's a spread, so pretty widespread, but I'm not getting crushed too bad by theta. What's on the old calendar? Got that stuff. FOMC is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Wow. So much data. Whoa. So much data always coming out. Or maybe it's just that the market moves on it so much now, and so we're noticing it. Or I am. For years, I never knew about market data dropping because the market just went up. And 26 RSI at 45. October? Oh, you're just showing another one? Yeah, with all that data, I mean, chart looks very bearish, but I suppose we could have a big bounce in there somewhere. Coming down more. Yep. Flipping a coin. GME's coming down, broke a low there, down 4.3. BBBY hasn't made the low 1.66. Been the low on the day for that one. MC is starting to get kind of weak. New low on SPY there. Oh, there's a big flush on GME. We're actually gonna get like a move back down to retest here because it's been a while. This was so long. How long was it back here? Let's just say before we rallied the retest, 25 bars. This is just so much different looking. Yeah, we're not too far past it. SPY's flushing down. 167 at 163. I've got 163 there, just because that's the gap fill. For the actual support itself, I don't know. But that gap fill is also right at the bottom of that. If I go down to like the 5-minute, maybe it's... No, it wouldn't be more. It'd be less, if anything. Yeah, 167 or 163 is at the gap fill, and it's at the bottom of that hourly candle there. So I see that as a support. The first support, at least. GME hit a support I had drawn here, 2097. Let's see to the daily 50 at 20. Kind of where it's at right now, or where it just bounced off. You don't think it's coming down to 15 again, huh? Yeah, 2034. Yeah, I mean, they would look more like a cup and handle then. That's, to me, that's considering the market's going to hold up a lot better than I'm expecting, but I guess we do have a lot of data this week. But it doesn't even matter if the day is good or bad. Market can still dump on it. They can say, oh, we're not going to... bad news does not mean good news now for the market. Just start going with it. I don't... So with futures, you have to like make sure you're on the right month, or it just won't get. So I'm noticing now there's more volume on the April nat gas futures than March. There's people already starting to move to the next month. Seems like nat gas is kind of, I don't know. Breaks the 50. Yeah, that 50 is at what I think 2034 I showed today at least. 20 and a half, 21 and a half collar. What's a collar again? Long stock, long put, short call. Long stock. You opened up, you bought shares of it? Long put, short call. In the example, 100 shares are purchased or owned. One out of the money put is purchased and one out of the money call is sold. Stock price declines. The purchase put provides protection below the strike price until the expiration date. Interesting. It's kind of bearish. Hmm. See if BBY holds that level there. Market might be finding a temporary bottom. VWAP's so low though. The move up to VWAP's tiny. Ow. That's ridiculous. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I can't sell these puts now. It says insufficient funds. Doesn't make any sense. I haven't opened up anything else. I think because I'm still negative on my buying power. Day trade excess is still negative. I'm below 25k now on this account. So stuck in those puts. Okay. Need to make it back with the futures, I guess. Strangle? Okay. Xi Jinping is preparing to visit Moscow. Yeah, I was reading some of those headlines about Russia and China seeming to be teaming up. The manufacturing PMS or PMI, PMSI, 47.8 versus 46.9. Estimate was 47.2. There's a bounce on GME a little bit. U.S. services PMI actual is 50.5 versus 46.8. Estimate was 47.3. So they manufacturing came in higher than estimate, and so did services. Oh yeah, I see that. Xi Jinping plans to visit Moscow in spring. U.S. inventory of unsold U.S. homes, 2.9% supply. Median existing home price plus 1.3%. A bounce here on everything, nat gas, GME, SPY, maybe even BBBY. Very minor though. Um, are they able to sell those warrants and preferred stock right now? Wasn't there a time frame where they weren't able to, or no? AMC is the only thing ripping today. Crazy. Yeah, I see shares available. Yeah, it's high, but it's come. I mean, it's come down. BBY's come down from like 400% to 100. GME has come down as well as far as a borrow fee. ACHX. Interesting. Like there's a pretty big buy wall at $1.50 on BBY, 218,000. And then 100,000 at $1.40. I've heard anything wrong. Think tank full of geniuses. Utter geniuses. So there's not, I guess the bond auction, only thing that really caused volatility the upside, but it probably won't do much today. Really just tomorrow, 2 p.m. Waiting on that. Oh, my cover call never got filled on BBBY. I was able to get out of my short puts on it though for profit, so that's nice. And I can't do cover calls in GME. I maybe could if I didn't open up these puts. But now I can't close these puts. Maybe I can close them tomorrow. Alright, getting a little bounce here. See if SPY breaks VWAP or not. Ivy Crush. It's like if you're bleeding and you're bleeding really bad and you're expecting to get to a hospital in a few minutes. Turns out that hospital's closed. And then you're crushed. And you bleed faster because your blood starts pumping more because of the emotional stress you have then to know that the next hospital is an hour away. So your blood rate increases, so you lose your blood faster. I actually ended up working out. I don't figure out how to swing that, but yeah, that worked out. IV is a result, not a cause. How was Disney World? I didn't go to Disney World. I'm going to Disneyland. Be a man. Do the right thing. Well-deserved vacate? No. I don't feel like anything's well-deserved right now. I feel like a schmuck. I don't know, Furs. I want to go long on nat gas here, but it's just now it's just like I have to wait. I wonder what maybe not leap since it does have decay. Pretty high IV on those boil options. Five strike. 24 days, that's probably not enough time. Looks like Spy just wicked to the VWAP and it's back to being weak again. Oh, I was Donro, you went to Disney. It is ridiculous, so expensive. Well, let's see what they're talking about in here. Excuse me, I'm eating some food. It's annoying. I need to figure out. When I just use Windows search, it for some reason doesn't search one of my hard drives. Does that make any sense? I don't know how to direct or add that hard drive to the search results. While servers are called, most are up pretty significantly today, but by January. You got 2024 calls? You got leaps? I didn't realize the whole time you're gone too. Yay, we're suffering together. What's your expiration, Gene, on your calls? Spy's coming down more now. Index options. Okay. Um, let's see. Index these options. Spy wants to come down more. GME is kind of hanging out up top though. Not bad. More buyers but larger sells. Yeah, very well could be the case. There's a pretty big bounce in GME to VWAP, especially with the Spy doing this. 310, $5 up 20%. Yeah, because there's a lot more time. Like what Donro said. Your risk to reward. Your risk is less with the longer options, so your reward is going to be less. GME is moving up past VWAP, oddly. With some volume. Huh. New low on the SPY. Talk to these guys for a bit, or listen to these guys. Need a little food.
To be adding about 1,000 battery swapping stations throughout China. So if that goal is met, it will be operating about 2,300 battery swapping stations by the end of this year. That 1,000 compares to an initial forecast of 400. So
not sure why GME is moving up here.
Stations. What are battery swapping stations, you ask? Well, it's a place where EV owners can quickly
volume
exchange
is good on that 5 minute.
Empty batteries for a full one. NIO says on its website that it takes
maybe it's just catching up to AMC
to swap the battery. That being said, there's an asterisk next to 3 minutes, so that always means maybe it could take a little bit longer. Tesla tried this about 10 years ago with some of its EVs, but ultimately said charging is the best way to power vehicles, noting that battery swapping was riddled with problems and not suitable for wide-scale use. But NIO, however, is going more wide-scale. Said about 400 of those stations will be located in expressway service areas or high-speed exits. Nearly 600 will be rolled out in urban areas. NIO says it will continue to bring users a more convenient power-on experience, making power-on more convenient than refueling. So as you can see, NIO, the only EV stock in the green today, although pretty modest gains. Tesla is lower, but when you compare how they've performed over the past month and in 2023, Tesla is the clear outperformer there.
Okay. One slight green shoot and a lot of red. That'll do for a story. That works. Trying to find something that's up on a down day. NIO pretty stable here over the last several months at the end of last year and coming into this one. So I guess that to some is preferable to the wild swings of Tesla in both directions. All right, thanks, Caroline. Coming to us from New York. Here in Chicago, I've got two Chicago guys. Dan Grant, Kevin Hanks joining me. Mr. Hanks, host of Fast Market. Dan Grant, senior specialist of retail trading here at TD Ameritrade. Let's talk some bonds, Dan. Get us started here. We got a big sell-off in bonds. And data to blame?
Data to blame. So with Philly Fed beat and PMI both beat, better than expectations. So the market is now pricing in 3 rate hikes between now and September, with rates projected to be at 5.34 by September, and then the Fed contract right now is at 4.57. Our target's 4.5 to 4.75. The long-term bond market's starting to be less inverted. We're sitting at 2s to 10s at 76 basis inverted. That's in quite a bit, and then the 3s to 10-year, 3-month treasuries, 3-month T-bills to 10-year is 86 basis points inverted, less inverted than it was.
Okay, market seems to be okay with inversion. Not so much with the steepening of any form. I guess one could argue that over the last year, the market has been selling off as rates were inverted. So maybe it's just lose-lose at this point. I mean, it does kind of seem like we're in this still catch-22, Kev, where if the economy stabilizes too much, and people last week were talking about the no landing scenario. It was either soft landing or hard landing. And people were saying no landing, and now people are like, wait a second, hold on.
They were starved for a new name,
right?
Weren't they?
Well, it seems like maybe the some kind of landing is preferable. I don't know. No landing sounds like we're just going to get inflation sticking around forever.
Listen. I think the drumbeat of news releases over the last several days, with Fed speakers, now data, now you see its effect. I still go back to your 20-day chart from the beginning of this show. Look at where rates have gone over the last 20 days, 10, and look where the dollar has gone. And that's weighing on stocks. And frankly, even though Jerome Powell gave a slight respite from that, the overall overwhelming talk has been higher interest rates. And think about the number we just put out here, 5.34. That's perilously close to where people laughed when Neil Kashkari said 5.4%. Now it's approaching right there, but it may go further than that, Oliver. This is going to get interesting. Rates are the great, wet blanket on this market that was kind of drifting higher and having a great January. Different kind of rhetoric here, but look at the dollar, look at the yields, and frankly, crude oil's now turned around, but dollar and yields are the dominant players in this market, and they're both higher.
With the dollar following interest rates now, for the most part, Dan, does that tell us we should expect something more hawkish from our Fed speakers?
You hope we do get some hawkish talk based on the numbers.
You think they need to, at this point, respond to them?
Not really, no. I mean, they do, but I think the dollar is showing so much strength right now. That's going to be weak for stocks, and this has been a war on assets for a year right now. They've been raising rates for a whole year, and the stock market's really been taking it on the chin.
Well, that's where the commentary from Powell was so fascinating to start off this month, because it seemed like his war on assets maybe was coming to an end when he, decided to veer and dodge the question about the stock market rally. Do you think the data now will force his hand to go back to waging war?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we're shot where the Eurodollar curve is showing 5.6 rate. This is just the Fed funds at 5.34. Those are significant. We're talking about 3 full rate hikes, 3/4 point rate hikes. What are they going to do in 2 weeks?
Or 25 and a 50?
I don't think so. No, I think they're going to stay 25 because you're just
25,
tweaking
25.
it now. You've shocked the market with going from basically 0 rates all the way to 4 3/4, 4.5 target, and you have to absorb that. Now the market's just going to do little tweaks until we get to that high rate and 1/4 point increments.
What do you think?
Market, SPY, new low.
I mean, Christine Lagarde says they'll do 50.
Well, Christine Lagarde's got a different problem. They've still got inflation over 10%.
Sure.
They need to be more hawkish, which would favor the lower dollar. It's interesting. Rates have climbed faster than the dollar has
Yes,
climbed.
they have.
If you look, the dollar's
100%.
been calmer.
Yep.
Not as ferocious on the upside
Thanks, Don.
as rates have had. But rates
indexed.
are taking its toll on the overall market.
It's going to be slower to surge, but headed by hard drives.
Christine Lagarde should be more aggressive. She's still got, with all the progress that they've made, still over 10% CPI data. So they've got other problems there. Their inflation is still strong.
That's what's interesting about today, is that you might expect the dollar to be higher after 10 years jump the way they did.
Yeah, I'm surprised the dollar's
Yields
dumping
climb.
right now.
But when you do have
Or was.
All
the market was coming
hawkish
down.
tone, 50, coming from Christine Lagarde at the ECB, I think that comes to your point, Dan, about the Fed maybe at least still doing 25, even if they have to tack on another one. So there's like 2 potential ways for the Fed to get more hawkish than the last messaging, to either add in another 25 or to say they might go 50. But even all those would still be less than maybe the road ahead for the Central Bank of Europe.
Adam Aaron's getting
Adding more
sued?
25 basis point hikes to the market is actually
Adam Aaron or
pushing
MC
NASDAQ
for the-
lower.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm listing
you're starting
Ape.
to add, you go to 50, you're going to try to shock the market.
Right.
I don't think they're in that
Yeah.
position right now.
Heard about
They're too far
that being
along
illegal.
with the rate hikes.
All right. As we assess the response here to higher interest rates,
It's
the
bullish.
dollar
That's why it's up
curiously a little
8.5%.
bit soft. I think that has a pretty good deal to do with it, though. The fact there's still some chunkier hikes coming from
Almost
across the
1.5% on the
bonds.
SPY.
Thanks,
Yep.
Kevin Hanks.
The meltdown
and
day.
Dan Grant. All right, Trade 360 with Nicole Petalides is up next.
Very
All right,
bearish.
Thanks for joining Morning Trade Live. I'll see you this afternoon.
Chicago. So that sound you heard was me. I had 100 shares of GME in here. I just closed. I don't know why I got those, but yeah, just building up cash. I think we're gonna see some selling off. Close out of my cash secured puts at the 1.5 strike. Still have the 2.5. I don't know if it's. I should hold these. Got 3 days on them. My rolls are going to start getting pretty ugly here. Wait, it's trying to work right now. Oh, I recall, yeah. So, price coming down a little bit more at the lows. Is there any? Yeah, we've got a couple therapeutics, biotech ones, pharmaceutical ones going right now. I think yes. AMC almost 10%. What in the world? Huh. Whoop. A lot of volume this morning on it. So I'm checking to see what kind of rolls I can get. You guys can endure the pain. I can roll a 2.5, but if I want to roll it down, that's where it starts to get, yeah. Get a lot more time. Yeah, April. Roll to April for 2, or cut losses here. 2 is still relatively high. $88 credit. I did it high, so that probably won't get filled. GME breaking VWAP there. Look at you.
Down to at 2% at 1906. Checking out the futures products this morning, mostly
gas,
red here.
fake bounce.
See Bitcoin down 295, 24,575. The dollar flat at 103.78. And gold is down $2 at 1847.90 a troy ounce, and oil is down just fractionally 76.35 the barrel. For a look at some of the
So I was looking at bar chart and their different strategies, kind of cool.
Warren's with us, markets correspondent here on the TD Ameritrade Network.
Pretty good bounce
Taking
there.
a look at two big earnings this morning. You could start with the first.
Yeah, so Nicole, Home Depot, both of these names, both Walmart and Home Depot, are lower in reaction.
But these are
to
covered
their
call
earnings,
screener.
But Home Depot, I would say,
So basically, buying 100 shares is selling calls.
concerning sentiment going forward, which is why perhaps we are seeing shares react negatively to their fourth quarter print. They did report fourth quarter sales growth modestly of about 0.3% year over year to 35.7 billion, which did marginally miss forecasts on adjusted earnings that did beat slightly. However, customer transactions for the quarter fell about 6%. Comparable sales also decreased.
It's just that positive beta
with comparable sales
on GME, it looks like.
in the U.S. declining just slightly more, about 0.3%. Gross profit did rise 0.5% year over year, while we also saw operating income for the quarter fall about 1.5% to 4.75 billion.
AMC 11,
now, beginning in the
11
first
quarter,
quarter
yep,
of
broke
the
that
fiscal
high.
year of 2023, Home Depot will invest an additional approximately $1 billion in annualized compensation for its frontline hourly employees. Plus, they did also announce that their board of directors approved a 10% increase to their quarterly dividend to $2.09 per share, which equates to an annual dividend of roughly $8.36 per share. So that was positive. Reinvesting more money into your employees and also then raising your dividend is typically seen as a sign of health for a company. But all in all, they do forecast earnings per share percent decline to be in the mid-single digits and expects its 2023 operating margin to be around 14.5%. So that weakness going forward seemed to be the thing that analysts really clutched and held onto. This name, too, also not being the beacon of strength it has been over the last several years, with shares down now over 4% for the year and underperforming the overall market.
Yeah, and it really tells the big picture story. I mean, much like what we're seeing from Walmart today. Tell me a little bit about that earnings story and outlook.
Right, so Walmart also seeing some similar negative sentiment, but there was more to be excited about.
BBY
I have
is
to say,
definitely
in this
barcoding.
report, Nicole, and also the fact that
a
Walmart
penny
is
stock.
only down about 8%
It's got the penny
off
stock
its
algo
yearly
turned on,
highs, and we
or
have
whatever
erased actually
calls it
the
to do
earlier
this.
losses as you can see
Where it's
from the intraday
even
time
numbers.
frame there. Now we're up just slightly
I don't know
on
the
the day,
explanation,
but
but
they did report strong quarterly sales as cash-strapped shoppers really gravitated to Walmart and its discounted offerings.
1.5, there's a pretty big buy though down here.
Their U.S. comparable sales, which were those from the stores
Pretty far
and
down.
digital channels
Still.
for the last 12 months ending in January, did rise about 8.3% compared to the same period a year ago. That beat analyst expectations of 4.9% growth, so pretty handily as well. They also said they're gaining market share in grocery, which includes among the higher income households that are trying to spend more cautiously now. December was the largest sales volume month in the retailer's history, which I thought was very interesting. Their sales of their non-food items fell during the quarter as shoppers then prioritized spending on staples over everyday needs. But this, as a result, did eat into their profits, as it has for the last several
And a reject
quarters,
there.
as we're seeing right now some of their less profitable items have more interest, and their more profitable items like food and or toys
Okay, I got a couple
being
nat gas
less interest
longs.
items of consumers. The retailer also gave a more
Kind of
cautious outlook for the year,
double
saying
bottoming
it
here a bit
expects
on the
US
5 minute,
comparable sales to increase
and it's
between 2
just made a
and
green engulfing candle, so
2.5%, but the results
got two of them.
really contrast with some of the other
GME's
retail
now
names
flushing,
we've already
market's
heard
not
from
flushing.
that don't rely on food as heavily,
low on
as
SPY.
groceries do seem to be the overwhelming bright spot, and also
Well, someone sold
a
green or below
point
2, but now I
of,
doubt.
I'd say,
Exactly.
resiliency
Everyone
in
says,
this
oh, dude, I'm going to
overwhelming
load the boat,
volatile
load the
retail
boat.
space, as Walmart
Load,
is
load,
still
load.
up for
Yeah,
the
once it
year.
gets down
It's
there,
still
you're
up
not going to have the same feeling.
25.5% off its yearly high, Nicole.
Yeah, and it's no doubt that people are pinching the purse strings. It's becoming very evident. And
Hurricane
using credit cards.
left.
Jenny Horn, nice to see you. Thank you. A great setup this morning. Appreciate
Only
it.
bull
Markets
on
correspondent here
BBBY,
at the Trade Network.
meaning
Let's get
even though
some
the chart
insights
was looking
into
very
the shaping
bearish,
markets, and for that, we
everything was a
welcome
good
Rob
deal under
Fleming,
like
senior
3.5.
market
Like,
analyst with the
yeah,
Schwab
it
Center
is.
Financial
It's not going
Research. Good
bankrupt,
morning
which
to
I don't think
you,
they are
Rob.
now. At least
We're
short term.
already getting
But
in
just because
some
it's a good
new
deal there doesn't
economic
mean it's not going to
data,
become a better
lots
deal.
to digest this week ahead.
We're less than half where we were
do you
there.
stand at this morning, where you
Pretty
see
ugly,
all
yep.
down arrows, every sector is lower?
Gap's
What's
probably
on
going to
your
get filled
mind?
down here.
Well, good morning, Nicole. Thanks for
163.
having me on. Yeah, I
almost hit
think
that today,
the
actually.
movements in the
Then 1.3,
Treasury
and then
yields and
you want it to hold
earlier on in the U.S.
something.
dollar or recent U.S. dollar moves
Hopefully this
definitely
one.
suggest tighter financial
127.
conditions. But you know, the markets still continue to grapple
Oh,
with
there it's
where
flushing.
the Fed's going to go and end up at the end of the day in terms of their terminal rate. But yeah, we did see some global economic data come out today. The manufacturing side was a little bit sluggish or kind of lackluster, but we did see improvement in the services side, which suggests that we're continuing to see that shift from goods spending to services spending so far.
Yeah, because we've gotten in
New
we've gotten
low.
in higher state manufacturing,
BBBY new
Philly,
low.
We've gotten in the services side. When you talk
me a
about
short
what kind of
check
goods
the
people
VWAP.
are spending on, tell me about some of the themes there.
Nothing
Maybe
on
you can
hand.
expand on that, and then we can have a better
Yep.
understanding of consumer behavior.
Your buying is only getting better.
Yeah, I think that pent up demand for experiences and travel has been one of the buoys for the services side.
Try to get
that-
covered
that
calls
has
this
been
morning with no luck.
underpinning some of the spending that we're seeing.
Yeah, understood. And then when we get to
Believe it, though.
what the Fed may be thinking, I mean, there's
Might get a
there's
bounce
constant
later in the
talk
day.
whether or not the market has bottomed or whatever. A few things that we've looked at, have prices peaked for housing, things like that. But in the meantime, the Fed still has inflation to fight based on all the prints that we've gotten in.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, that
gotta
we've
look.
heard rhetoric from
that guy.
Fed officials saying that the job's not done yet and we need to finish it, and still getting some hawkish commentary suggesting that we'll see.
Thank you guys for your
more
likes. We're at 24
tightening.
for the day.
I
Well,
don't know how
well
aggressive
done.
we'll see. They did 25
After
basis points earlier this
I was
month.
slacking the last week.
It looks like the
Came in
consensus
strong.
is for another 25.
GME
and
had
then
a
after
big
that,
red
we'll
candle.
see. It'll be interesting to look at this week
AMC is
or
not
tomorrow.
bearing,
they'll
though.
come
It's
out
just
with
holding
the
up there.
FOMC minutes from the meeting to kind of see the discussion. I know it's a kind of a lagging indicator in terms of where the Fed's at right now, given the data points we've seen, but it'll give a good idea of where the Fed was in early February when they did decide to do the 25 basis points. And then, also we'll get the March meeting, which will
SPY
include
is so weak, 1.5%.
updated economic projections.
Oh my
which
goodness.
We'll get a good idea of where
VWAP
Fed officials are
wick would have been a
seeing
great entry, I
rates
guess.
to go and inflation to go, the
Or a short.
unemployment rate, the economy. So it'll be a
Demon
nice
Dome?
gauge of
Sounds
where they're at
pretty
right
bad.
now.
Yeah, and we'll be getting a lot of data this week. We've gotten an existing home
Yeah,
sales
it's looking
showed,
pretty bearish though.
it falling again, though at a slower pace. But what the interesting part was prices were higher on existing homes. Just the inventory still remains tight. We'll get some other data later this week, including
Like that,
more
huh?
on home sales as well as
Oh,
GDP,
BBBY.
right? The second preliminary
163,
print
there it is, gap
sentiment.
filled.
What are your thoughts about some of the
Flush
data
to that
that you're
support.
watching for this week, and what specifically are you going to be looking for within those prints?
Well, the
SPY,
big report
40,
I'm looking
59
at,
or somewhere
other
around
than
there
the
is
FOMC minutes,
the
is
next
the
little
personal
support I
income
see.
and spending. That's going to encompass and show how healthy the consumer is, what incomes are looking like from a
And we will
wage
start to
standpoint.
lag, so
But
the
also
market's
it
selling
includes
off.
the PCE deflator, which is the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation. So that'll be an interesting data point to see where inflation has come, what impact the Fed's actions, aggressive actions, have had so far, and I'll be diving into that one. That'll be a good one as
GME
well.
broke that
But
support.
also, looking at jobless
2092
claims, it's
still
a
low, though.
timely indicator. That'll be for the week ended February 18th to see if the labor market still remains fairly tight, which is kind of handcuffing the Fed there and keeping them more hawkish in terms of the tight labor market. But also, you mentioned new home sales will also come out, and keep in mind that's an indicator of contract signings. So given
There's a flush
the
on
interest
GME.
rate backdrop, the pricing backdrop, the affordability backdrop that we got, it'll be a pretty good indicator of demand for housing right now.
BBY,
Right, understood. It's
Build
good
the
to
gap.
see you, Rob. Thank you so much. Really appreciate
put a mark
it.
at the next gap.
Rob Fleming, Senior Market Analyst at the Schwab Center.
It's
for
bouncing there a little
Financial
bit, though.
Research. Thanks for being here. All right, plenty more to come right here on Trading 360. We have our 360 Spotlight. We'll take a look at portfolio.
DocuSign. Ooh, net gas moving up. Do it. So next move down is minus 130, 31. Right about there, it's close. Not sure if it'll hit there today. It's already at 9.5% almost. So I'll fill that first gap to the downside. GME flush through its support. From earlier today, the 10-year yield 3.9%, up 12 basis points. Lagarde, Eastern Central Bank, determined to bring inflation back to 2%. Consumer prices jumped 12.1% for the poorest tenth of households in the 12 months to December, but climbed 9.2% for the richest tenth. GME is starting to move down 5.25%. AMC is still holding up really well. Lagarde intend to hike rates by 50 basis points in March. Natural gas falls 8% to $2.95. Or no, $2. Yeah, no. $2.09.5 will be the lowest close since September 22, 2020, when it closed at $1.83. No, I don't even know where could I get those prices. Because UNG doesn't reflect that. Bank of America now sees a mild recession starting as early as the second quarter of 2023 and return to positive growth in the second quarter of 2024. I think we'll know when the bottom is in. It's up 20-50%. The bottom's in. Yeah, maybe it has been moving after hours. It is an after hours mover. Ant-Man 3, I guess. I don't know. The only thing I saw was that SEC is maybe suing AMC for doing an illegal dilution or something like that with the ape. US existing home sales fell for the 12th consecutive month to their lowest level since October 2010. The 37% year-over-year decline was the largest on record. Wow. So people don't think we're going to have a 2008. Maybe, maybe not. But that is significant. I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy. They're getting a bit of a bounce here on SPY and GME at least. BBY is holding that support so far. 162 was the low, but it's holding above kind of 160, that gap fill, I think. Yeah, 163. Yeah, we'll probably get a rally on BBY late day. ECB's Lagarde says no euro area country in recession in 2023. Okay, credit card balances have increased by 130 billion from December 2021 to December 2022, the largest annual growth on record. Thanks. China's Wang Yi. China-Russia relations are solid, will withstand changing international situation. Can't make it up, that's right. 12%. Yeah, AMC's moving. Wow. I wonder if GME is going to start getting a feel. Not really. The median existing home sale price is down 13% from its peak. After the last housing bubble top, prices fell 33%. The same decline today would only bring prices back to Feb 20 levels, reflection of the mania, the last phase of the current bubble. A 40% increase in 2 years. Yeah, so that's the thing with all the data of it showing how quick it's coming down and how much it's coming down. It's like, but it was up so high and so fast that it doesn't mean a whole lot yet. 33% from peak to trough. That's for the 2008 Great Recession. Or 13% from the peak so far. Treasury's Adeyemo says U.S. allies warning China, Chinese company that attempts to evade Russian sanctions. Export controls will be met with action. I just looking weak here at the lows. The MACD has flipped bullish, but really doesn't matter at this point. AMC 13.5%. Good volume today on it. New low on SPY. AMC was a negative beta play all along. GME might be setting up an engulfing candle here though. So there is that. Only down 4.5. Come on. The amount of time it would take to save enough to put 10% down on a typical home in Austin rose from 8 years in 2019 to 13 years in 2022. Putin has said Russia won't allow NATO to inspect its nuclear objects. VIX is at its highest level since January 6th.
They've had this layered support there for quite some time. It's been this consolidation range. And what's really important that Ben pointed out is that we had that double top, but there's been follow through since, and that follow through carried it below that 200-day moving average, which is also below that accumulation range. So now we're possibly in this moment where the markets may be wondering where the floor is, and that really gives hesitancy to buyers and really gives a lot more confidence to the short-term sellers. Now, again, there's obviously
CBB.
macro outlooks that are going to play a role. We have crude inventories every week, of course, that could affect energy stocks. But, you know, as of right now, the markets have pivoted lower. And if the market squeezes lower, it's really hard for me to anticipate a stock like CVX totally just fighting against the current of the ocean here. And instead, it's probably going to work with the current of the ocean. They may be a little bit more accelerated than they normally would.
AMC big volume 16%. If this thing starts to get volatile,
you know,
like
by the end of this
big,
week, quite honestly,
we're gonna see GME
154,
probably get pulled up.
Really see it,
maybe,
you know,
maybe BBBY, but
145 range within about a week and a half after. So I would say even, you know, first, second
I think
week
we'll
of
see
March,
GME
you really
first
see it kind of bottom out towards that price range.
Yeah, understood. And, you know, such a different sector than what we're getting to. You're going from energy straight over to tech. Your next two choices and trades have to do with technology. Microsoft, you're actually looking whether or not it can hold and even bounce a little higher. Tell me a little bit about what you're watching for your trade.
Yeah, so Microsoft this morning was approaching the 200-day moving average. February 6th, we came to that level. It pivoted up, and it actually bounced all the way up to 276 about a weekend, about maybe 3 days later, 2 days later. So it was a sharp response. Today, we tested that level. There was absolutely no response. There was no buyers on the bid, and we're now starting to drop through. So this is now telling me that the market doesn't have that same demand, that ChatGPT isn't going to make a difference. Now, going forward, if there's some positive news, especially around the ad revenue side around Microsoft, if they're able to actually generate revenue from ChatGPT through Bing, that could be a big propellant and a catalyst for the risk on trade again. But, you know, this is something that we're seeing the markets kind of just say, all right, we're tired of this AI news. It's not nearly as effective, where stocks were jumping 10-15% on AI news. Now it's starting to really just be a 5-minute jump and then just a risk off meltdown.
BBY.
So
yeah, how is AI doing?
this
Is it come down?
253-ish level right now.
Wow.
I think they're trading around 252s. Is extremely important because this opened the floodgates all the way down
AMC is doing a
potentially
baby
to 240.
squeeze.
With there's no other floor, there's no other reference. The next level of reference is going to be that 50-day moving average. So it really looks like the market's moving lower effectively is weighing on Microsoft, and all those people that were trying to jump in late on that Chat GPT are starting to feel the weight. A very key technical level is being lost. There's no difference between how the market views CVX and Microsoft when there's demand, and it's supposed to happen at a key level, a price reference where the market anticipates a pivot and we don't see it. Well, generally speaking, the other side is winning, and that generally means that there's more follow through.
Right, understood. And so that you do have that possibility of the watch out below. What are you thinking here, Ben?
Sounds to me like Charles is talking about how price is king, whether you're talking CVS or Microsoft. Ultimately, the technicals is a good lean, and here we've seen a pretty well-defined trend up since February, mostly sideways with an upper extreme around that 275 level, a lower extreme around 250, 260. We're starting to test that lower extreme right now, but you can see again the areas of consolidation that formed along the way up. 3 of them pretty well defined. We got 225 in the beginning of January, 242 to the middle of last month, and then the begin February. As I mentioned, we've been mostly consolidating around this 267 level, but to Charles's point, we're starting to leak lower here, and I think ultimately that real weakness would come into play below 242. But let's take a step back from the hourly and just want to show you that that trend up that we have been looking at here this year, somewhat counter trend to what we had seen, and it brought us into a key area of resistance, which for the most part, held. Taking a look here at the daily time frame, you can see again these areas of consolidation that help us determine trend, because which way is value moving? You can see in this instance lower, 334, 300, 266, and 232. Look at this recent test here, this spike up. Again, we were talking about how the move up here, Charles said it was everybody trying to jump on that AI bot. And here you can see they are feeling the pain, as he mentioned. So this was a critical level. Anything significant above that area would have invalidated the trend to the downside. You can see it was limited in terms of follow through, a step back into the daily, showing you where things stand year to date. Well, you can see how the stock is up significantly, 5%. It's coming off, RSI rolling over here, and look, below the 200-day moving average, working its way back towards the 50. So this again looks like a sell opportunity at this point. Weakness here through 240, 250 opens up a door for a retest at 213. If the broader market continues lower here, something to watch as we work our way into the end of February if rates continue higher.
Yeah, will the broader market continue lower? And to your point, what we're seeing that it really could move back lower. And Charles, when you talk about the possible sell-off in
1.58, almost
Microsoft
1.6%,
and your next trade has
and
to do with a short
no
in
show
tech, right,
of
in
support
the semis.
yet.
What's your big picture on NASDAQ, triple Qs? I mean, what are you telling folks?
Well, I mean, Ben brought it right. You know, the Fed chatter last week really brought a lot of confusion to the market, right? Markets have been pricing in only one more 25 basis point hike. We've even heard from two different Fed members that the possibility of a 50 basis point hike at the next meeting is on the table, that they could progress to another 2 or 3 25 basis point hikes. And that's kind of shaking things up in terms of, you know, what the market was expecting, and now they're pricing in that news for the time being. A lot of these charts are showing what's known as an M as a Mary formation, and ultimately they're double tops, but they're lower high reversals. And when they start breaking down from a lower high and then start making lower lows, it also indicates a strong reversal of trend. And we know that 2023, we got off to a rip-roaring start to the upside, extremely strong bullish uptrend, and now we're starting to see that reversal of trend. So it's starting to seem like retail institutions all the way across the board are taking risk off. Short-term traders are taking advantage of the downside move, and really they're just attacking tech. That's really important because tech was the one that also led us up, right? Some of the names that were down the most in 2022 are the ones that had gains for 2023.
Yeah, and the NASDAQ on pace for the 4th positive month in 5. To your point, I mean, we've seen some of these growth stocks taking off, which brings me to this SOX. People think about the semiconductors, but this is SOX S, the short ETF. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts there and the trade.
Sure. So if tech is going to be working lower here, you know, we certainly have people that either A, just don't like shorting the market, or very hesitant to short the market, or B, don't know how to short the market. So a great way for people to take advantage of the downside move is by being a buyer of an inverse ETF. Now, when tech, most notably the Qs, an example, start working lower, what really leads us down are two big sectors, the cloud sector and the semiconductor sector. Now with SOXS, the weighting's a little bit different. You would assume that names like NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD were the top 3, but they're really not. It's names like Broadcom and Texas Instruments that have bigger weighting. Ultimately, though, we're starting to see weakness in those stocks, which in turn is starting to bring SOXX to life. They found a really great floor there on their 52-week lows, tested multiple times, and now they're starting to break through. That 22 price was really important. I think that the near-term upside is around 24 to 25, but ultimately we could see this trading around 27, 28. And don't be surprised if we get there by the end of the week. With GDP numbers due out this week, with the PCE as well at the end of the week, and of course the FOMC minutes being released tomorrow, you know, we never know how the market may react to these data points. And of course, you know, if anything is caught off surprise, the market's never like surprises. That's generally a risk-off move, which in turn would help elevate SOXX very quickly.
Oh, yeah, and Ben and I are ready for that busy week ahead that you're talking about. Ben, your look at SOXS.
Well, that level that Charles just
now
mentioned,
the dollar's moving up.
26, 27, 28 area, that's an important area right now if we continue higher. But a higher move at this point, you can see, would be counter trend. We have been establishing areas of value to the downside. This is the 60-minute time frame. We're going all the way back to the end of December. And here you can see 4 pretty well-defined areas, 40, 29, 25, and then, yeah, we're testing the upper extreme or breaking out of this range here right now, but still not necessarily invalidating the trend to the downside as long as we don't take out 25. So at 2236, I mean, the SOX is up by over 5%. Expect to see that with the NASDAQ down 2%, well, almost. It's down 1 3/4. But here, this trend lower since the end of December, you can see this is, well, been going on since a bit longer than the end of December. We're going back to the middle of October here. And in this instance, you can see about 5 areas of consolidation, 74, 59. And just notice how they continue to work their way lower. Again, here's the one that we're currently forming around that 2021 area. But holding below key areas of resistance, whether you're looking at the hourly or the 4-hour in this instance, a little bit of a longer-term chart going back to the middle of October. Wanted to show you where things stand relative to the 50-day, the 200-day moving average. You can see we've been trending lower for a while now. Stocks have really been recovering off those lows that we saw in the fall of last year. The NASDAQ has fared pretty well, rolling over again today, a significant move, but still, for the most part, the NASDAQ's been contained and faring pretty well. You can see a reflection of the mirror image here. Take a look again, below the 250, below the 200. RSI is starting to inch up here a little bit, but look at this one, still down 43% year to date. The NASDAQ's been on fire, to say the least. I mean, what a run-up, and you can look at some of those individual names that Charles just mentioned for the culprits in terms of what's behind the bid.
Yeah, and that fair trade is 3 times, so it's certainly betting to the downside in a big way. It is wonderful to see you both. Thank you for the big 3 today. Our own Ben Lichtenstein there with the charts, and Charles Moon, Senior Market Strategist of Equities at Prosper Trading Academy. Thanks. Coming up, we're going to spotlight your portfolio positioning and where you should be putting your money to work. That and much more here on Trading 360.
Watchlist can help you keep track of securities you're interested in. To add a watchlist to the left sidebar, select the plus sign, then Watchlist. When the default list appears, select the name box, then Create Watchlist. Enter a watchlist name. To begin adding securities, enter a ticker symbol in the symbol box, then select Enter. Continue adding all the symbols you want in your watchlist, then select Save. The existing list is replaced by the new one. You can also create watch lists from the Market Watch tab. After creating a watch list, you can add symbols to it from different locations across the platform. From the Charts tab, select the list icon and then Add to Watch List. From the Scan tab, right-click a security and then Add to Watch List. And that's how you make a watch list. For more demos on how to think or swim, head to the Education Center on tdameritrade.com.
Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade is more than a trading platform. It's an entire trading experience. With innovation that
Okay. I talked to the power company. I think the power is actually going to go out, so probably going to lose a stream. SPY's flushing down more. Oh yeah, there's the break. Break of that low. Yep, could end up being a big day. Well, I got that short on Friday, but I shouldn't have gotten out of it. I didn't realize I couldn't get back into it. That sucks. I don't know why it let me into it initially. So weird. BBY is still sitting at the lows that it was at.
subscription service. So here we go. All the details, please.
Definitely. We are seeing the tech stocks down, but Meta is actually up today after they announced that they are going to be offering a Meta verified product, similar to what Twitter is offering right now, where subscribers can actually pay for having a blue check mark that verifies their identity by using a government issued ID. Now, they are going to roll this out or pilot it right now in Australia and New Zealand. And after they do their pilot and see how effective it was, as well as working out some of the kinks, and they'll roll it out to the broader platform here. The monthly subscription is going to be $11.99 and on web, and then $14.99 on iOS and Android apps here. So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, we do see this type of transition or this monetization of social platforms and just certain features that are on those platforms as well. So they're just trying to capture a little bit more revenue here, Nicole, as they've been struggling to try to navigate some of the headwinds that they've seen in the last year.
Yeah, it comes right on the heels of me having to pay for my Twitter blue check, right? I couldn't do things on my Twitter until I finally paid up. I paid up, started working great, Kevin, so I guess that's going to be the same thing here. You know, I'm going to have to sign up for that as well. Kevin Green, Senior Markets Correspondent for the TD Ameritrade Network. Thank you. It is time to spotlight portfolio positioning, and for that, we welcome in a special guest. Shana Sissel's with us, founder and president of Banrian Capital Management. Thank you for being here in New York.
I'm excited to be here in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if power goes out, yeah, let's see. I should probably set up some stop limits, actually. So I'm going to hold this nat gas, but I'm going to put a stop. If it breaks that 2174, that low. So 21, where would I want it? 2175 is that low. I guess 2170 I'll do. If it hits 2170, it'll stop me out. And then I kind of wick there, might be about to bounce. BBY kind of moving up a bit. Zelensky of Ukraine has said if China allies itself with Russia, there will be a World War III. Polish President Duda says Biden showed in Kiev that free will doesn't fear anything. High school graduate wages increased most since 2001. What? AMSD still holding up. Spies looking a little bouncy finally. Maybe too soon though. Tempted to do 1.5 strike cover calls on BBBY.
So it's really just about taking advantage of what I think will be volatility in the market. These products will do well if there's volatility in the market.
Right.
And so I'm positioning that way. Now, MRSK is a little more equity forward, and that's sort of reflecting the fact that I don't think we're going to have a deep recession and so I want to have a little more equity beta in the portfolio.
Right.
So that's kind of how you can kind of see that in my position.
So this is the more the defensive side of the game, and then the tech weakness, which some could be concerned, especially since we've had the recent run up in the growth stocks, and now people are wondering, what now? In the meantime,
Whoa, there's a
may
big
still
dump
think
on
there's
AMC down to
opportunity
VWAP.
there. You have names on there like Nvidia and Apple, and you had LDOS. That
Why
was
not-
one that you had
not
liked
actually
last time. You
rallying
liked
here?
this one for some time, right, Leidos?
Leidos is one of my favorites. It's trading at a multiple below the market multiple, about 14.
Right.
Strong dividend, and has strong, steady business in that government contracting space, mostly security related. I know I say this all the time, but you'll see Leidos everywhere when you go to the airport because they handle all of the security screening. But that's kind of their base business, and they have a rapidly growing healthcare business that I think is a real catalyst for the stock going forward. I think it's a good, solid foundation for my portfolio so that I can take some risk with those tech names. I like Nvidia. I've been following it my whole career, so I always tend to add to it when there's some weakness in it.
And reporting on Wednesday.
Yes.
That's tomorrow. What would you do? Any moves ahead of earnings or after earnings?
Not ahead of
anything like that?
earnings. Depending on what they report, I might be a buyer on weakness.
I see. Okay, so maybe a buyer on weakness. What about Apple, which is around 149 today? What do you think? It came up from 124, so it's had a decent run recently.
So I was a buyer under 135.
Nice.
Right now, I'm kind of a hold. I like the stock. I'm not selling it. If it came down again under that 135 number, I'd be a buyer again.
You'd be buying more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last but not least, JetBlue. This is a name you often stick to also. Tell me a little bit about why this one is the standout
So
in
it's
the
actually
airlines.
somewhat of a newer name. I think it's in the last month that I've started to put a position on in JetBlue. I've followed the stock for a while. I'm a JetBlue fan personally. I like the airline. I like flying the airline.
I like the television.
Yeah, I grew up in Boston and they flew everywhere, so it was easy. I don't get to fly them as much now in Chicago, but I do think they are strong customer service focused, competitive pricing, and they were trading almost near their IPO price. And they IPO'd in 2001, I believe, 2002, and if their split adjusted price was about $6, and it was in the 7s, so I was a buyer at that point, and the stock has done well since then.
Yeah, it's been running up from $6 to now it's over $8.
Yes.
And so that's the big picture on that. What's the final? I mean, you're going to be waiting for a GDP print. We'll get sentiment. We'll get more in housing. We'll get the Fed minutes tomorrow. What's your final takeaway here? You're saying, the recession, there was talk that the recession, even if we were to have one, would be mild and short-lived. Are you more in that camp rather than the deeper recession, right?
Yes, I'm more in that camp. I still think we're going to see a recession.
Yeah.
I don't see how we avoid one. The Fed is going to be aggressive, going to keep rates higher for longer. You're seeing the consumer kind of pull in their spending, and that's going to cause the economy to shrink. But I think it's really hard to have a deep recession without the job market having weakness, and we're just not seeing that.
Yeah, not now or not yet, not really. So we have to wait and see. It's good to see you. Thank you for
That
being
up
here.
engulfing candle here, maybe.
To have you on the show. Shayna Sissels
Might
with
actually
us,
find a
founder
floor
and
at
president
400.
of Banrian Capital Management.
59.
Nice to see her in
Temporary.
person. Coming up,
Definitely
George
looking for a
Still
short
standing
entry
by
though.
with the disruptors. He'll take a look at DocuSign. The stock is lower today following a downgrade, and George has
Might get a nice entry though after data tomorrow, but could continue to see a sell-off into the FOMC. Give it some time for this candle. That gas kind of holding that floor. Do I have a stop limit on there if my power goes out? Nassim Talib has said per BI Bloomberg, the Bitcoin crowd are teenagers who know a lot about computing and don't understand finance. I think that's old. Set up here. Oh, yeah. So I've been looking at bar chart, just kind of the other. I've usually looked on here for highest implied volatility for data farming, just finding the highest one and going through that list and seeing ones I recognize. Looks like a bottom is getting set in here, but I'm gonna keep waiting. That is an engulfing candle. We have a bullish MACD. Is that support? But they have other screeners on here, kind of interesting, like covered call screener. So gives you potential return. And then annualized return, I think this is. Yeah. So not to say the IV is going to stay this high, or this is, you know, a lot of stuff can change. But yeah, BBY is on the top of that. Because that IV is still so high. Those would be buying 100 shares. And then selling covered call, I think, at the money. Let me see if it shows it. Shows a chart. Yeah, cover to buyers, increase returns. So it's showing, yeah, that green candle looks like it'll probably close engulfing. Okay, margin to have a ES to the upside. Yeah, I don't. Could do a micro maybe. Yeah, I could do some micros. Yep, it closed. All right, I did 4 micros to the upside. Bounce might be very small. VWAP move would be sick, and gap fill would be ridiculous. But this is the first engulfing candle we've had all day at a support. So we'll see how it plays out. Could dance around here for a bit though. Covered calls, yeah, it always makes you money, right? I mean, I don't know, what do you mean? You're selling a call, you're always going to sell it for money. They're selling the call for a profit. We're gonna let this marinate. I guess a stop loss for me would be, I don't really want to see it break that 40.59. But really the bottom of that candle. Maybe put one on here. And that gas long is holding on. Instead of that gas climbing up to VWAP, VWAP decided to slowly come down. So when you sell a covered call, all the money you're going to make on the option is the money that you sell the covered call for. So if it goes in the money and you let it expire in the money, then you're selling your shares for that whatever strike price you sold that option for, that call. There's no, I mean, the risk with selling premium is well, I guess not totally, but with selling covered calls, the risk is just you're capping your gains. So there's no, I guess, risk. Not real risk. I mean, the risk is you getting your shares called away. I guess if you call that risk. And there's guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but there's only profit if you're selling covered calls over your cost basis. So if you bought something at $10 and you sold an 11 strike covered call, if it goes up, no matter what, you're not going to lose money on the whole play. if you're buying shares and writing covered calls. But if you already have shares and you're just doing covered calls, yeah, the only risk is them, I guess, calling away your shares, which it's not really a risk, I guess, as far as a loss of money. So yeah, let's see, this cover call strategy might do it. Might just do it, actually. Just do it. Kind of want to wait for more lows on BBBY before I start doing more shares. But yeah, so this strategy is showing net debit of 124. Is that because, oh, because the premium you receive. So it costs 124 to enter this trade. So this shows the premium you receive. So if you bought 100 shares right now on BBY, it'd be $162. If you added a short call or a covered call at this strike, they're saying this $2 strike, you'd receive enough premium that it would bring your cost basis down to $1.24. So you can look at it in that way, or just look at it as premium received. It actually doesn't even show, oh, 40 cents, so $40. Yeah, that's legit. So you're spending $160 to buy 100 shares, and then you're selling covered calls to receive, I don't know if that's still live, that amount, but receive $40. What date? April 21. The 2 strike? Yeah, there you go. That's crazy. So you receive back a big portion of your cost basis. Covered puts is a name for it. I guess that's actually what I have on here, covered puts. Yeah, like protective puts. What you're probably thinking of is cash secured puts. That's the other side. That's bullish. A covered call is, in theory, bearish. But a cash secured put is, instead of owning shares and selling a call with your shares as collateral, you just use cash as collateral. So it's a cash, so it's secured in cash. And then you're selling a put. GME is flushing here. Selling a put is agreeing to buy a stock at a certain price. So that's like one of my favorite strategies, is selling cash secured puts. There is something called a covered put though, specifically, but I'm not sure you're talking about that. Covered put, I think, would be the same as a protective put, which is a long put if you had shares. Bullish acting twitchy. Been twitchy to the downside. But yeah, well, we should see a rally up. I mean, it's down over 10%, so hopefully by end of day at some time we should have some sort of move up to VWAP at least. This is not a very nice looking candle for a rebound, but I'll keep waiting. As long as we kind of hold above this 450 level or so, fine with this long. AMC is holding up really well. I need to put in my stop loss. Say 409, 40195. And looks like it's about to hit it. Yeah, it just filled. Okay. Gotta quit trying to play the bounce on such a bearish day, I guess. And coming down more. So if I'm looking for a covered call strategy, it just wicked down there, didn't it? Dude. Turkey. Could have put my stop further down. So if I'm looking for covered call strategy, like a buy right, like buying shares and then selling covered call, I wouldn't want the chart to just look completely bearish though, because the value of your shares is going to go down. Even if you're, you know, the premium you received is good and whatever. I'd like it to be, you want it to be kind of close to a bottom, I would say, or even at a bottom and ride it up. There's not like some magic way to figure out the best option for selling or buying. You've got the Greeks, which is a lot of math. But that's what's nice about like bar chart or different screeners. You can find high implied volatility, which is kind of what you want for selling premium, but you don't want it to be too risky, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah, I want to go back long still because that just wicked down there. That's stupid. I don't know. I'll wait. I should just wait and maybe catch a bounce and then go short. Theta. Yep. Yeah, it's coming down more. Flashy market is red today. So on here, this is good because the annual return, like if this just stayed like this and you keep doing this over and over, the annual return is 383%, which is crazy. I mean, you're not going to get that. But annualized, that's, you know, that's how you can figure it out. Figure out your numbers there. Yeah, SPY's getting near the lows again. Might just be freaking some losses, stop losses, but before it rallies. Oh, I don't know. Oh, new low there. So then the second one on this list is actually AMC. But it's quite a bit further down. So if you look at AMC, the option they're looking at is 109% IV. So IV is basically like the price, how expensive it is relatively. So the higher the IV, the more premium you're paying for it. Lower IV, the less premium, the cheaper it is. Yeah, so it is still gonna rip to the upside maybe. Yep. Just a little shakeout perhaps for guys like me with stop losses. Yep, I might go back long because that wick is now nice. I didn't want to have too much slack on my stop loss, so fine with that. Those candle ends. Oh, wait. Yeah, so AMC actually, that would maybe be a better one for the strategy today. Maybe I should do, because AMC's up 13% and the chart doesn't look like it's just dumping. So you're going to pay 13% more for the shares than you paid yesterday, but the IV, the options, are going to be more than 13% higher, most likely, especially this one that they're calling out. They're looking at a 421 in April, 7 strike. I would maybe even do lower than that. That's so far out of the money. I think this thing is, I think it's a bit delayed, but now it's showing Nikola. I don't want to mess with Nikola. Bartek. This is looking bearish. It's a pretty smooth chart though on the daily. That'd be a nice little short down to, back down to the support. And shoulders. Yeah, a little bit. So this one's saying buying it at 490 and selling the 6 strike call for April, and you receive 38 cents for that. Time to buy hundreds, $38. Air SPY's coming down more. It was a fake out. Maybe. Okay, eyes up here. Now if I have a, oh, let's back up a bit. If I have a bearish sentiment, I don't know if I would want to do covered, like a covered call strategy just on its own. Unless if the price of the stock of the underlying is at a good deal. So we've got BBY, which this one actually probably would be the closest, even though it's bearish looking, but it's closest to potential support, I think. I don't know, that's maybe actually pretty far still. So they've got covered calls, naked puts, they call them on here. I think this is cash secured puts. Yeah. So AMC is actually the very top for the cash secured puts, and then it's BBBY. And I'm doing that BBY cash secured put. They have a different date though. Annualized return on that's 318%. Tesla's high up here also. Maybe doing some Tesla cover calls. I could get more shares on Tesla and do cover calls on it. More shares that I need. A lot. That's the thing, I don't want to buy shares at this price. Exciting moves. Yep, so exciting. We're looking at bar chart. Looking for different data farming strats. As much as I don't like AMC, I think it's going bankrupt. It has some of the best cash secured puts and buy right covered call plays as far as cost of the underlying and then the premium received for covered calls. This 5 strike cash secured put, the Bad day to sell though. It's up 12%. 406% IV. Month out. This is the thing. GME's IV is so low now. Just not great. Not great for this farming. Arti City is up 5.5.
But both coming down a tenth, Joe. This isn't what the market's looking for. This is, it sounds like we have inflation, Joe, that's starting to plateau here. Your thoughts?
It's sticky, right? Yeah. It's sticky. It's not something that was going to be a straight line depreciation. We have to understand that. We have to understand it's a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. You know, it's improving, but I think we knew this, you know, going into this year.
Yeah, I'm about to lose power.
We're going to see peaks and valleys along the way.
Replacing a transformer.
It's going to take some time for the inflation to work its way through. Now we've seen
disinflation,
okay,
let my computer just
but we are going to have points where, once again, we plateau, and we're just not going to see this straight line down. We saw it in the goods. And
almost got the whole Tesla system
as, you know,
like 2 years ago.
Become a little bit firmer. Services, we just haven't seen it nearly as much until we start to see some price improvement from
financing they used was sketchy.
See some price improvement.
That's where they get you with the solar panels.
In the housing sector as a
crappy
whole.
financing terms.
But that